treat. And today I'm cooking Swiss elk steak from my grandma's recipe box. This recipe was handwritten. I don't know if you're going to see it very well, but it's got several steps on it. And it's written in cursive. I will put the recipe in the description box for you. So it calls for 2 pounds of steak. However, I am not feeding that many people today, so I'm only going to pull out 1 pound of steak. And then you need flour and butter. So you're gonna dip the steak in flour and then shake off the extra and then fry the steak until it's brown. And then we're gonna cover the steak with a sauce. So I'm gonna do the first step. Got a pan to fry the steak in, and then I have my glass pan to put it in after I'm done. So I need a plate. So first off, I need a little bit of flour. It just says to put flour. It doesn't say to put salt and pepper down. So I'm just gonna do that. Just gonna put a cup of flour down. You might want to do more if you have more steak. I'm going to go ahead and spray the pan real good. It doesn't say to do that, but I hate when things stick. So we need butter to fry this in. While I get the steak coated, I'll heat up my pan. I poured my steak out from the freezer and forgot to defrost it. So I'm just going to defrost it real quick. Okay, so if you're like me and you had to defrost your meat, and you had to cut up, I took the time to cut up my vegetables when I defrosted the meat. So I cut up mushrooms, green peppers. So what I just did was cut up green peppers, onions, and mushrooms. So now I should be ready to fry these things. I just want to make sure I have a good amount of oil in the pan to fry them. Right. Gonna have. Okay, it says to cover the steak, both sides, with flour and then just shake off the excess flour. And then you're gonna stick it in the pan and fry it. Trying to get it covered. Get out some of it. Just until brown. You're not looking to cook these steaks at this point. You're just looking to brown them up a little bit with the flour. I guess that's gonna help me a lot with my steaks still being a little bit frozen, because they're not gonna overcook in the oven. They're gonna be baking in this oven for an hour and a half, which I think is a little long for steak, but that's what the recipe says. I would have probably never done this anyway. I don't like to ruin my steak by covering it with sauce, but we'll see if I like it. So if you have a lot of steak, you're going to have to do this in batches or have a really big pan. I cut mine in half. Okay, so while that's going, the next step is to combine 1 can of tomato sauce, a half cup of red wine, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, a half cup of diced onions, a half cup of diced green peppers, 1 can of sliced ripe olives, drained. I don't like olives, so I'm leaving that out. A cup of sliced fresh mushrooms, a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of pepper. You're going to mix all that together and then pour over steak. And then you're going to bake it in the oven at 350 degrees for 1.5 hours. So let's start with the 1 can of tomato sauce. I am assuming it's a small size. It didn't actually say, and I have to wash the lid because it's a little dusty. That's what we're going with. This is a half cup of red wine. Just gonna eyeball that one. I don't typically drink red wine, so I'm gonna see if I like this. Also, I gotta figure out something to do with the rest of this. That looks about half. Check the steak. Tomato sauce. Oh, it's red. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. We've done all that good. A half a cup diced onions. Let's see if I have it on. Still not brown. Okay, half a cup of diced onions. There we go. Half a cup of green peppers. I'm not real sure what I'm going to do with the rest of these green peppers. So we're just going to throw all of those in. And then a whole cup of mushrooms. All right. And then whatever else mushrooms is left, throwing that in. Oh gosh. This is about done. Alright, so then we need a half a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of pepper. And then just eyeball that. Alright, mix it all together and then we're going to dump it on top of the steak. that it's looking done. Probably need to turn the oven on. Would it be a sin if I just dump all this in there too? I mean, that seems like it's extra flavor. Alright, this is what this looks like. A whole bunch of vegetables in red sauce. And I don't... Why not? It says cover the steak with this stuff. Now mine has a little bit more in there, mainly because I didn't do 2 pounds of beef, but whatever. It says cover this and bake for an hour and a half. So I'm going to cover with aluminum foil and throw it in the oven for an hour and a half, and I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done. Okay, my steak is now done. It's been an hour and a half later, and it is very hot and steamy. This is what it looks like coming out. So we get 4 steaks there and a whole bunch of vegetables around it. Going to serve that up and see what it tastes like. Probably gonna burn me because it's gonna be too hot. I did just pop in some bread and butter in the oven to kind of eat this with. Let's cut into it and see what it looks like. It's been cooking so long, it should be very tender on the inside. This is what it looks like on the inside here. Gonna go ahead and give it a taste and let you know what it's like. Kinda a little nervous about it, but you never know till you try new things. Trying to get some of the vegetables this time. First bite just tastes like plain steak with no seasoning. This time I put the vegetables on. Kind of reminds me of stuffed peppers, but instead of ground beef, you're using steak. It's okay. I mean, turn steak into a pot roast consistency. Well, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day, and let's see you next time. Bye. Just wanted to jump back on here real quick and say that my family loved this recipe. They all said that it smelled like grandma's house, and they fought over the remaining steaks. So even though I didn't really enjoy the rest of the steak too much, they sure loved it. So it's definitely a surprise there. I want to also say that the recipe is in the description box. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.